All right. So our first topic of the night is Bel-Air, episode 2 of season 2. Yeah, man, this was a pretty good one, but it's still setting up for a lot of stuff. Right off the bat, what do you think, Brian?
It is hard to watch the decisions they're making from the side, from the sideline. Like, it's like I'm looking at Uncle Phil sometimes, and I'm like, man, you're a terrible father. But then I start to realize that someone probably saw me from the outside. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Doing that. That makes no sense. So the hindsight gives you a lot of ability to say that's to talk about what someone's doing, but really, it's just hard to do it in the moment. But I see them setting themselves up for failure, and it's hard to watch it sometimes. And you see Will and how he's self-destructing, and I can see the route that he's on, and I can see Carlton how he's going to have anxiety problems, but then he might break through his anxiety. So like it's just so many things happening to everyone, and they really haven't touched on the whole Ashley Tatiana Ali being in the episodes. It's so much going on, and they're preparing and they're prepping us for. But all I can say is this episode gave me one thing I've been wanting for a while.
What's that?
Jeffrey back in the house.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they still have a lot of problems. So Brandon, I know you said you didn't watch it. So I still recommend going to check it out. It was a good episode. Even if we talk about it, I don't think we're going to spoil anything because there's nothing major that happened. There's nothing that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I think like we all knew Jeffrey was going to get back into the house, and pretty much everything else that happened this episode. But yeah. I mean, he got back in, and it was, the conversation him and Phil had was good, was rough. And there's still like some, open wounds, not just amongst them, but between Jeffrey and his son. I think that we're gonna dig into that like throughout the season.
Why he can't see his son anymore, and that's gonna be huge. But once again, we talked about last week. Phil's gonna have to be the one to go to him, and that's what happened. Phil had to go to Jeffrey because Jeffrey put the olive branch out, and Phil just knocked it away. So it took Phil going there and realize, say, I love you. I need you home. You're my best friend. Like I love you. I need you. Yeah. You're part of the family. I need you here.
Yeah. And it was also like Aunt Viv trying to like, hey, enough. Like go over there, talk to him. So yeah.
You don't get to deny your wife for so long when she said, look. When she says look and she turns her head. Like that sideways, you only got like 5 minutes to actually get it done. It's like my wife comes and said, hey, look, take out the garbage. I'll be like, hey guys, I'll be right back. That's kind of how it works. But I got a question for you. Are you surprised about the things that Will are doing? What Will's doing, the route that he's taking? Are you surprised?
No. There was one thing towards the end of this episode with Will. I was like, if he says, there should be a game. So Brandon, if you want to play a game while you're watching this episode, take a shot every time he says West Philly, Will is back. He says it like a dozen times in this episode. Like, we get it, man. We get it. Like, West Philly, dude. Like, he says it a bunch, because I think he's trying to convince himself a little bit of it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm that badass kid from the hood and this and that, and now I'm here. But it's like nah, last season, man, you changed, but you're trying to bring it out and people are trying to take advantage of him and stuff like that. But
he doesn't see it. And I think Uncle Phil said something really awesome. He said, you need to think about why all these people are sweating you. What about you is the reason why they're sweating you? Because they want a piece of you.
Yeah.
And he can't get that through his mind. Like, he's like, oh man, they're going to help me get to D1. No, they want to ride your coattail. And it's a story that so many kids that join AAU and traveling basketball teams all hear this stuff. I mean, I'm telling you. I have a couple of cousins that are really good at basketball. They did a lot of traveling basketball. And if they didn't have good parents, they move into the coach's house, and the coach is like now become their manager. And then next thing you know, it's only what the coach says. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
They rule their lives that way. And what they do, the coaches cast this wide net, and they grab somebody. And once they have one good one, they can keep on casting that wide net and grab more and more kids. And it's becoming a problem. Like, as a point of AAU basketball is bigger than high school basketball in a lot of areas, or most areas.
Yeah.
You know, the NBA, everyone talks about the NBA. Martin, the NBA is so soft. It's because these guys have played together forever. These kids are playing in AAU and they're stacked teams playing together. The NBA has changed because of it. The culture has changed because of it. And I mean, it's all because of AAU.
Yeah. So, I mean, did they say he's? I know he's a traveling teams coach, but did they really say they can't? That makes sense. Yeah. So they kind of sneak around it.
Yeah, it's AAU. He's an AAU coach.
Yeah.
And he's Jackie's uncle.
Yeah. I guess that is one of the kind of big surprise, but not. I mean, also not really. Like when it's, I'm like, because this dude wants to make, but yeah, man, him and Phil. I think Phil, it seems like he's gonna be a little too much formulaic. I don't like, well, I'm saying that right. So far, because in the first season he needed to have that adverse, like he needed to go against somebody. He needed to be able to fight somebody. And the last time it was against the politician, the police guy. I think now it's gonna be this dude. You know what I mean? Like it seems like he's always fighting somebody. For a reason. Like with that, it was for his family. And it kind of turned into like Jeffrey for a little bit. And then stuff like that. But I think it's gonna be him and then like that's gonna be the conflict for Phil all year.
I think that's what it wanted to be. The problem is Jeffrey is gangster. And if Jeffrey's anything like he was last season, this is going to be a 2-episode problem.
He was easily one of my favorite things about last season. If not my number one favorite thing about last season.
I think he's my number one favorite. Can you imagine? He's not a big dude, but he just goes and taps someone on the shoulder like, "Look, I'm giving you 2 weeks. Figure your ish out, or I'm gonna figure it out for you." And then, like the next episode, you see him like he's sitting there with a can full of gas and a handful of matches, and the house burned down behind him.
Just figure it out.
I told you.
Yeah. Although I don't know, does he change a little bit this season because he needs to make right for himself and for his son, so he can finally see his son? You know what I mean? Like, does he need to kind of become a different person so he can finally interact with the person he loves the most, which is his son?
What he can't do, I think what we're going to find out is that Phil made a deal to keep his son safe because of what Jeffrey's done before in the past.
What Jeff?
And my question is Jeffrey ruthless enough to do the stuff that he was doing before? He didn't care about the consequences, but now when you bring your son back into that equation, is he ruthless enough to do the things that he was doing? And that's going to be a big question.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a badass because I mean, I like as soon as he comes back into the house, everyone's happy. They're like, "Oh yeah, Jeffrey's back," and he goes, "All right, well, everyone's 10 minutes late. Get your asses on the bus." And he's like, right to the smackdown. He's like doing everything. So
and everyone's like, "Damn, already, Jeffrey?" They didn't question him though. They got on the bus.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So, but I did like that. But he's gonna be an interesting character, man. I mean, he was always, I thought, an interesting character, but I think they're really gonna like dig deep into his I don't say trauma, but issues.
Oh, I think it's trauma. That's trauma.
Yeah, I mean,
to lose a son and to realize in your head why you can't see him, and I think he's going to tell Phil, "I need to see my son."
Yeah,
and Phil's going to do whatever it takes to let him get to see his son, and that's going to cause problems.
Yeah. The one thing Jeffrey did say when they're having their talk and he's telling them, he's like, "You know why you can't see was it Frederick, I think his name was, the son?" And he's like, "I know," and he's getting loud. Like, we never really heard Jeffrey get loud and emotional. And he said, and the thing he said that really got me was like, it makes sense here, but it doesn't make sense here. And like, he was all like just worked up. I was like, damn, man, that was some good acting. But that was pretty good. But yeah, that's like, like logically you're like, yeah, I get it. Yeah. But then also it's like there's still a lot of emotions and stuff, that come with not being able to see your son for however long he hasn't. So
for the rest of his life, he's not going to be able to see it, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
But one thing I gotta say is the Uncle Phil that we have now has a problem because what we have from James Avery created a mountain of a shadow over him. Like there's nothing he can do that's going to mix with him. It's going to match James Avery. James Avery was the perfect Uncle Phil. He was everyone's favorite uncle. He was everyone's favorite father figure. He's already 6'6". He's already 300 some pounds, and he just dwarfed everybody and just had a persona. Like he's that big, but his aura was even bigger.
Yeah.
And that's just hard to compete with. And I don't know if you can fill the room up as much as he did. You know, and be that good of an actor at all times. He was always the best actor on the screen. And that's always just a problem. He will never be able to fill those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like we have to go to other characters to do it, or we have to formulate problems in order for him to be able to reach those levels.
Mm-hmm.
James Avery was able to do it just by being himself, no matter what.
Yeah, I can see that because I was kind of thinking that last week. I'm like, is Jeffrey and Phil in this show like a combination of what Uncle Phil was back then? Because like you said, like he was big. He was the voice of Shredder. So like at one moment he'd be like, be very menacing and very, very authoritative, especially like when it came to like what was that one? When they got hustled at the pool hall, and like a lot of times when he put his foot down. Yeah. He put his foot down and you're like, oh man, he's gonna bash somebody's head through the wall, and then the next episode he's like a teddy bear, he's very understanding, very loving, and I think that Uncle Phil is split between Jeffrey and Phil in this one, and they're kind of
that wisdom along with it.
Yeah, like they're both loving, very emotional, but one is more menacing than the other, and so it's like they almost split that character, because in the last one Jeffrey was just a one-liner, in the background that would just say stuff. I mean, he had what, 2 episodes like to himself, I think, in the original one. I know one for sure.
I mean, we won the lotto when he walked away.
Oh, that's right.
But when Son came in,
so I was thinking the Son one.
He's had some episodes, but the spotlight was never on him. He was just background character. This one is
not like this one,
as Brandman said. So he's one of the favorite characters. He's like the best.
Yeah. I think our Jeffrey comparison video between the old Fresh Prince Jeffrey and Bel-Air Jeffrey is still our #1 video on our channel, because people love like this Jeffrey so much, that he's just interesting,
and he has swag for days. Like the dude just comes.
Oh man, definitely.
Yeah,
I was like, man, you super Jamaican. Like that's everything about him. Just says like, oh man.
Yeah. So he's cool.
I'm waiting for me to get some oxtail soup or something like that, man. I mean, oxtail stew. He's super everything. Like I feel like every time I see him, I should be seeing him eating some jerk chicken. Like, like he is awesome. Like he is just that awesome, and he's the, as you said, how Uncle Phil split between 2 characters. He seems like he's the better actor. Like he's the stronger actor. James Avery was the best actor, as I said, on the screen all the time. He was always the best one. He's the one that taught Will how to act. As we talked about when Will Smith was at the beginning, he used to, mouth everybody's lines so he can know when his part to talk. James Avery showed him how to act.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks about the father episode. That's when Will Smith can do drama. And how awesome that was. And that's probably one of my favorite episodes. That, and then the Carlton gun episode when he said, give me the gun. Like that was the best acting you see from him. But that doesn't happen without James Avery. And I don't feel like this Uncle Phil doesn't have that. But Jeffrey looks like he pushes them a little bit more into their out of their comfort zone to make them do better.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they use him to bring Ashley a little bit more out to the forefront. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know if they're going to use him. I think they're going to use like the OG Ashley to bring out this Ashley, which is great because it makes sense, you know, with being the teacher and stuff like that. And I think they're also using something that's happening in the world right now with you know what's
Black
acceptable
Lives
curriculum
Matter
in school. That's
books.
what I was thinking. It was like books, like, oh well, yeah, that's an unacceptable book to read. I was like, but yeah,
you like that book?
Yeah.
Take that book.
Yeah, exactly. The Florida teacher. Yeah, because at first I'm like, I thought the other student was because in the first episode, that other student was upset because I'm like, oh, she's getting extra credit, but I'm not getting extra credit, and I think it might be a little bit of that, and then a little bit of like jealousy, you know, like, oh, she likes that teacher more, you know, or she likes that student more, you know, but it's.
As they all says, like she has helped multiple people, especially Black people in a world that that school is white,
yeah,
and so Black kids in the white school, how to deal with it sometimes, because sometimes you get frustrated, and she was the voice of reason that helped generations of students, and that's what we're going to see, and that I think this is what's going to happen. I think we're going to get a Black Lives Matter thing, like that's. I think Carlton's going to become big into it. Like he's going to have anxiety, and then he's going to use the anxiety to become an unbelievable, wordsmith, like give an unbelievable speech, and that's going to really bring him to the forefront. But it's going to also be at odds with him getting into was it Yale?
Yeah, something like that, like whatever Ivy League
school. I can't remember what it is, but that's what will put him at odds. So he's going to get everything he wants, except he doesn't get the scholarship or he doesn't get into his Ivy League school.
Yeah, because that was. Because like this whole episode was like setting up, because like that whole part with Carlton, I'm like, things are going too good for Carlton, and especially how the character he was last year, how you just like you hated him, and then towards the end you kind of accepted him. Like now I'm like, oh shit, okay, you're getting better, you kind of understand things, but I feel like I'm like there's something hidden still that like we don't see yet. And it's gonna be like just a bunch of skeletons in his closet, and he's like, "No, I'm doing even more drugs," or like something stupid. Like we're gonna find out. I
can see that happening, but I'm under the opinion that he's going to be my favorite character. He's going to have the most growth, and he's going to be like the dude that really Will brings the best out of him. Even though Will challenges him and puts him in uncomfortable situations, it brings the best out of Carlton, and Carlton's going to become better because of it. And I think Will is going to drag himself down to a point where Carlton's going to be the only one that is holding them up. Like they're going to go be at odds, and then once again, Will's going to be the wrong, and Carlton's going to be right. But Carlton's not going to give up on Will, and he's going to bring him up just like Will did in the first season.
Yeah. I can see that, because like the whole going to with what's that group called, the BSU? Like that was Will, and it was, I mean, granted it was for a girl, but now it seems like Carlton's getting into it more like on his own, you know what I mean? And Will's kind of just helping there, like being his hype man almost. Because we're gonna do a protest. Yeah, we are. We're gonna do a big protest. We're gonna do a walkout. No, we're doing a blackout. It's like he's like he's like the hype man. So which is awesome, because I think that's something what Carlton kind of needs. He needs that confidence in an area where he's not used to being. He's used to like hanging out with all the sports guys and all the white boys and stuff like that. And now it's a little different. And I'm kind of curious, because I think now he's stuck, because that one teacher told him, like, you sure you want to do this?
He's going to want to try to stop it, and then he's going to have such an anxiety attack that he's going to explode and give the speech that makes everyone walk out. He's going to explode because he's going to open up and be so honest that everyone's going to fall in love with Carlton. Carlton's going to be the character that everyone's going to fall in love with. I think this is a good time to bring out what Tony said.
Yeah.
Is that there you go. I love the episode where Uncle Phil made Will apologize to the family when Carlton took Will's speed. That's the kind of stuff we're going to get. I think that those type of things are what we're going to get in this season. Like Will's going to push Carlton to a point, but it's going to make Carlton a better person, but it might put him in the hospital too.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it. They went down on Carlton's meds too.
They took him off. Didn't they? They took him off.
It went down on it.
It went down. Okay.
Yes, and he because he can't sleep. But you saw how he was at the party, how he was getting amped up, and it does things. I mean, if you know anyone with anxiety, you know how the ups and downs triggers things. So I think it's going to be a very interesting run that we're going to get. This storyline is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Carlton's got a really interesting storyline because it's so different from last year. It's so different from last year, and we kind of saw it changing towards the end of the last season, and I think he's going full out this season. Hey, got Perp.
What up, Perp?
What's going on, Perp?
So shout out to Perp, man. Perp did some Oscar reviews with us, so make sure you go check out his channel. Yeah, he's doing a bunch of movie reviews over there. So
Perp is doing. He already has a movie review for Creed, and making me mad. I'm trying to catch up to you. Man. Come on. I'm watching the movie. You doing a review at the same time. That makes any sense.
So go check out Perp Minded. But yeah, I'm trying to think, man. I mean, there's a lot of this one was not a lot of Aunt Viv. We didn't see too much of her. We saw her got involved with the Ashley issue, and then and then she's. I think her arc started this episode though. It wasn't much, but she's starting to confront. What's his name? Right? Not Riley. Reed. There you go. Yeah. And I think so. Her real issue, but then now she's got to deal with that, and now she's got to deal with her daughter. Ashley and stuff like that.
She's going to be the one pushes Ashley. Yeah, and it's going to help her. Find herself. Yeah,
which I like because Ashley's still pretty young. As she was elementary school, right? I don't want her dealing with this stuff by herself. You know what I mean? I think a strong household is that. The parents have her back and are also helping her fighting these battles that she can't. Because she's young and kind of not sure with her place in the world. She knows what she wants to do. Yeah, and I think who she is. Yeah. I think Aunt Viv is gonna help her with this fight. Is going to get her there, and then I think you said Carlton's going to have this big explosive moment that's emotional. I think Ashley might have that same kind of thing where come out oh, this is effed up, and then start to be a little bit more
vocal
about things. So I'm curious about that. The one I didn't care too much about this was kind of the Jazz and Hillary. It was kind of just okay, but it's just a continuation of what happened last episode. So it's okay.
No, I feel it was Jazz's fault. Don't let her have your car. You knew what she was going to do. It's a household that she holds dear. She don't want to represent you. Nah, bro, you ain't getting my car. Keys down. You have all the cars in the world. You ain't messing up mine.
Go rent one.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, theirs is okay. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna run into some bigger issues, but right now their storyline is not. It's towards the bottom. I'm interested, but everyone else got a way more interesting storyline right now than them two.
Yep. Will's gonna mess up huge. So, he's gonna do something stupid, and it's gonna involve Jackie. And we got a little bit of Lisa this episode, but not much.
Did we?
Yeah, she was talking to Carlton. Exactly. Did we?
When? Yeah, I don't even remember that. I'm trying to remember when that happened.
Lily of this episode. Was she?
Yeah,
I think she was.
I'm serious. I don't remember.
She was talking to Carlton when he was talking about, now you're being the BSM. BSU, whatever, Black Students Union.
Oh, okay. Dan, that was Lisa, right?
That was Lisa. That's the only time we saw her.
That was super quick.
It's just trying to. I think it's the directors and the producers just trying to say, don't forget, Lisa's still here.
Yeah,
she's still here.
Sprinkle her in. She walks by in the background. Yeah. But what Tony said.
It's I feel Jackie knows what her uncle's intentions are for Will, but her feelings will make her not go through with the plan. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. Mm-hmm. But I think when Will finds out about it, even though she didn't go through the plan, the fact that she went along with it, that's going to turn him off towards her, and he's going to go try to go to Lisa, and then Lisa's going to walk away somewhere else and leave Will just in a lurch. And that's what he deserves, because can't just keep on going back and forth between these girls. Even though I know I did in high school too. So I mean, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying,
I mean, it's a lesson you learn. But it was a good episode. I was entertained. It was pretty quick though. I gotta check the runtime. I just felt like
44 minutes or something like that. It was
it's about average.
It was fine, but it was just like whatever, Normally I'm watching this show and I'm like halfway about to pause or turn away, like I can't watch this because I hate when it's awkward situations. I'm an awkward, terrible person watching awkward situations. So I'll turn away. But this was, it was awkward, but I didn't ever have to turn away. I just found like it was fine. All right, we're cool.
Yeah. It wasn't. I didn't hate it. It wasn't really a filler, because important stuff did happen, but nothing. Everything that happened wasn't like crazy. I'm like, okay, we saw that coming. A lot of stuff we said last week, I think, kind of started coming true, or we were kind of on the right track, more or less.
I think the only thing that surprised me was the high school team, like the players starting to say, "Will, this is our team." I was like, "Oh, what? Really? You don't say it to your best player?" Yeah, I've been there all the time. You don't say that to your best player.
Yeah,
and he just walks away.
This is our team. Like, you can't have your team back in last place, jackasses.
I want to walk away at halftime. How about that? Just that's fun. Hey, Jack was looking fine. So why the hell was Will worried about Doc? She was looking real good. I was like, why are you asking about Doc? Dude, who cares?
Non-stop. He's like, hey, what's up? What's up with Doc?
Can I ask you about Doc? What? No. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. And she was trying to even like, I think I think she's more into it than him, but also is she just manipulating him for her uncle? But that's all he does. He calls her, hey, what's up? What's up with Doc? Goes to the place and she's like dressed nice and everything and ready to like dance and have a good time. And he's like, oh yeah, but what's up with Doc? It's like, I mean, she was even getting aggravated, I think, towards in the club. I was
in this situation, I would have forgot who Doc was. Like, Doc who? What? Who? The seventh dwarf? I have no idea who Doc is. Doc Rivers? I have no idea what's going on. I'm with you. Forget all these other things, man.
Yeah, but fun episode. It was a good episode. Didn't mind. But like I said, if you haven't watched it yet, Brandon, get a nice little shot, get it going, and every time he says West Philly, Will Smith is back.
No, don't do that.
He says that.
I don't need you having food alcohol poisoning. I don't need that. I guess the whole bottle of Hennessy is gone.
We get a picture of you passed out on the couch. Like, why he say it so many times
with the empty bottle, like
with the empty bottle. Yeah, man. I was like, but after towards the end, I'm like, oh my god, why? Like, he says it all the time, all the time, and I wonder if it's intentional.
We know West Philly.
Yeah, exactly. Towards the end, I'm like, oh, you're just trying to convince yourself, man. Yeah. You're trying to convince yourself.
He's another person that I think what happened at the end of season 1 rocked him to the core. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing a male who's rocked to the core. He's no longer sure who he is or what he is. So he's searching for something that he's good at that he could control, because he felt like he's totally out of control. And we're going to see him out of control because he can't control these things. The more you try to control something yourself, the less you're in control and the more you have problems. So,
Yeah. I mean, he's still got trust issues with Phil, and Phil's trying to help him, but also there's gonna be trust issues with Jeffrey, because everything went down, and he knows it went down because of me. He goes, "Oh, you got fired because of me." He's like, don't. Jeffrey's like, "Don't think about it." So,
I think Jeffrey's gonna tell them some things that he doesn't want to hear, and he's gonna go through something during the episode, and then Jeffrey's gonna be like, "I told you."
Yeah,
I told you.
Yeah. So, but cool. Yeah, man, that was a good. It was a fun episode. How many are we getting this season?
I think we're at 10, right?
Probably. Yeah. What do you say?
So I think Jackie's feeling Will and Summer playing him at the same time, or like she's feeling him and finding out like her uncle's gonna start talking to her, and then she realizes, oh, okay, I have to do what he says because A, B, and C or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to follow him. So we're getting 10. Yep.
10. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for a second episode, it was good. I mean, we don't need like groundbreaking, like crazy stuff happening in episode 2, but it's setting up. And I think it's setting up stuff that's going to be interesting and see where it all goes. So, like it
sounds like a lot of drama on the show. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
First time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, you missed season 1. Yeah.
Oh,
it's good though. It's good.
I think Lisa will get with Braxton and Will dates Jackie for a while to get over Lisa. I think Will comes back and starts saying, "Lisa, come back, please," and begging her, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. But we've been talking about it for a while, so I just want to. I can't wait to see the next episode in the same way I dread it, because I just know it's gonna be more drama.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still gonna set up more. I'm just worried like it's gonna keep setting up, and then it's just gonna hit hard, and you're just like, damn, like you all were doing so good, and now everything's ruined. I'm just waiting for that moment. So like,
watch Jeffrey gonna be sitting there with all the pieces of everyone's broken heart, like just in his hands, like, all right, can you fix this?
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a hero of the season, I think, and I don't know who this early. I don't know who.
I'm hoping it's Carlton.
He would be nice. Yeah,
all the hate we got before, now I hope Carlton is the one that kind of saves the day and brings everyone together.
Yeah, I mean that'd be one hell of a arc in 2 seasons. Where the beginning of last season you just wanted to punch him, and like, what are you doing? And then if he is the hero by the end of this season, and you're just like, good job, give him a hug, like, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I like comedies don't really watch drama, so Brandon Davis said.
This is definitely drama.
Yeah, this is absolutely drama, and in hindsight, I'm happy they did it that way. It had to take a different route from the original.
It had to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have come under fire for trying to be a cheap imitation of the original. It's very much its own animal. I think a tonal shift definitely works to its advantage.
Like How I Met Your Father.
Yeah.
Like, you're just trying to be exactly the same show. That's not going to work.
Yeah. We didn't need, and it shouldn't have been a carbon copy.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't do this. Situational comedies are made for NBC and network shows. This is good because we get the drama and you can see it on an episode by episode basis, and you can deal with if I don't want to watch it again until next week, I give myself a little time.
Yeah, take a week break. But like I agree with what Chill said. You want to bring that up? Yeah, if it was a sitcom, it would not have made it. Because I think just in general, sitcoms don't hit now like they did in the 90s or something. Like in the 90s, they were like top notch. But sitcoms, multi-camera, series just don't. They're not the same. I mean, I think people want more better looking things for sure. I mean, there's always going to be one of those shows that's going to be an outlier, like Big Bang Theory, is a sitcom, multicam, that obviously took the world by storm. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people love it.
And I'm into love it because you know what? I've probably watched every episode of Big Bang Theory 3 times. And I know the trope. I know it. I see it like in my mind. It's like Jeffrey. In my mind, I know it's terrible. But here,
it's like, but here it feels good. It feels good. Yeah,
Tony
I mean,
said,
in the middle.
I could see Will and the family visiting his mom for the summer, and Will makes up with Trey. I think Trey's the one to like bring Will out of the funk that he's in.
Man,
He
I
might be the
completely
one
forgot about Trey.
pull him out and tell him like, wake the hell up. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about Trey.
This is chill, yo.
Ew.
Oh, come on. Will it come up?
Yeah, the next one. There you go.
I ain't got socks to say bazinga. Baby.
I
definitely got a shirt.
I was gonna say, I know you gotta have a shirt for sure. I think that's about it for our review for episode 2 of season 2 of Bel-Air. It was good. It was fun. It was, nothing major happened, but a lot set up, which is fine because it's still the beginning of the season. I recommend watching it. It's gonna be a good time. There's sometimes you're gonna be like, it's like old man throws fists in the air, like, don't do that, kid. But it is what it is. But fun time. But leave a comment in the comments section.
Leave a comment. Yeah.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching live, stick around. We're gonna talk about a couple more stuff. But if you're watching on replay, appreciate it. Thank you, and let's move on.